the parents looking at, which kid's doing better and like, oh, like you should have got this ice time or whatever. Then there's always a problem, right? There's always a problem with the coach. There's always a problem with like whoever the first line is. There's always a problem with the amount of ice time. The power play isn't good. All this stuff. Like, they're playing minor hockey, man. Like, the coach has a job. Like, it's not junior hockey. And what do you know anyways?
It's just taken to a different level though, because like there was the one year that when we decided to bring our son to AAA, it was like, okay, like there is a bit of an expectation, and I'm going to just admit that there's an expectation, and whether this is right or wrong, that you play to develop and win a little bit. It was mine, and in most people's, but people take it to extremes. So it was like, at one point, I was like, this is kind of dumb, because no matter what, everything was fair. Like, if you got a penalty and your shift was up next, you would go on. I'm not saying punish guys for penalties, it happens. But no, under any circumstances, if it was a tie game and it was a playoff game and we needed a goal and it was like say the third line, we'll call it, is up, they get up. And it's like, well, at that level, I expected a little bit more, didn't lose my mind over it. So I can understand where people can nitpick that, but it goes way, 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 way too far.
Well, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the extremes, right? Like, obviously, there's something, you don't want to be on the team where everything's fair all the time.
No.
Right?
No.
That's not beneficial either. There needs to be, like, inspired competition, and like, you're trying to work for something. And the other thing too is, it's if you're a kid on the team and the guy that just went out there isn't going to get you the goal, like, that disrupts the team dynamic too. So that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about that extreme level, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So when parents make comments like that, like, because I get it all the time, like it's so funny, man. At a game, when the parents come and talk to me, they give me their opinion. Like, I'm a pretty humble guy, and I don't like to flex my hockey muscles. But when people start telling me how this guy's doing well, this coach should do this and stuff, I just go, wow, because people don't have a clue. They think they know, but they don't know, and it's sad in a way. But it's like, most parents, actually all parents, including me, have no right to coach their kid or tell their kid what's right and wrong on that team. And I say that because I have an idea what the coach wants. In fact, he tells me a lot of the things, and I run some practices for him. But nonetheless, he runs a team a certain way. He has his philosophy, and he talks to them before the game, and he does his X's and O's and all these different things that I'm not privy to. So when I start bitching about it and complaining and pointing out things that I feel are wrong, I don't have the right context. I can't say for sure that my son or this guy should be going on because whatever. That's me that understands the game, coaches pros and played at the high levels. I can say that. When Johnny boy that's a dad that's never played the game, doesn't really understand the game, doesn't understand X's and O's, just sees goals as a good thing and nothing else, or maybe very few things. You can't comment. You have no idea. And the advice that you give your kid, or the shit that you give them, or whatever, could be totally counter to what the coach actually wants or what the team wants. And the other thing is what makes a good player? If you ask most parents, they wouldn't actually know. Score goals. Like, my wife asks me that all the time. God bless her. She doesn't. This, I'm not cutting her up. She'll say, "What makes him a good player, Andy?" It's a legit question, because she actually doesn't know.
Right.
What she thinks is a good player. She'll point things out, but she'll actually she'll say, "Well, what makes him a good player?" So I have to explain to her. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I think there's something to be said, like I touched on earlier, where, like, parents that don't really know, the putting, specifically defining what it is they don't know a lot of the times is they don't understand roles, right? And this is what happens when you have never been part of a team, or you've never played any high level where those things become relevant. Like, if you played house league hockey growing up or whatever, right? Where it's just like roll the lines, everything's fun, like whatever. That's not how hockey is when you get older, right? You start to play at higher levels, and there's a game within the game kind of thing that people talk about, you know? And if you're somebody who doesn't understand that, then it's hard to know why people are in certain situations, or what is most valuable on a team, and all. You can't know. It's impossible. You can't know, right? So I remember one time something that happened with me, because my dad, he was a guy that never played any kind of high-level organized hockey where he would know these things, right? And I remember I used to come in, and he used to say this to me when I was young too. I just didn't know any different. But when I got older, I started to realize he would say things like, it looks like you're standing around, like you're not going to get the puck. Like, why aren't you going to get it? I don't understand, right? And sometimes that was actually valid. Like, maybe I was just floating and not working hard. But sometimes I'm not supposed to do that. Like, it's not my job. If I'm a winger in the D zone, I can't just go get the puck.
Yeah.
I need to stay where I'm supposed to stay, because if I leave, then that D gets the puck, and then we're screwed because he gets a free shot, right?
Yeah.
So that's something that you wouldn't know as a parent if you've never played, right? And the other thing too is not everyone's a goal scorer.
No.
Right? Not everyone's a goal scorer. And in fact, your kid may not be good offensively. He might be really good at something else. And because your only gauge of whether or not they're doing well is if they scored a goal, like you're missing the boat, right? Your kid might be the one that the coach wants on for a penalty kill or for face-offs or for getting pucks out on the wall or for blocking shots.
And it's not less important.
No, it's not less important. It's less sexy, and it's less, you're not going to get all the glory of being the guy that scored the game-winning goal and whatever. Yeah. But these are critical parts of the game.